Hey everyone, welcome back to the live stream. Um, I'm making some changes to the audio setup here, so just give me like a second to figure it all out. I just need to move my mic a little bit and maybe arrange for a pop filter, though I'm not too sure if I need it. Okay, that should be better. Um, Volume is a bit low though. Okay. Quickly adjust the gain there. All right, that's better. Okay, so today we are going to be working on particle effects for dashing dodgems. I wish I had a third screen to watch the stream on. Yep, that's not the one. There we go. Okay, that one. So the thing is, or what I want to be working on today is we have these particles for various situations in our game, right? So we have this one, for instance, if a car hits another car, and we have this one that indicates like how much charge or bump has collected, which is a thing I'm going to explain right now. So just for those of you who are not familiar with what I'm working on, we are making a there we go. A game in which you drive around a little car like this, and physics, and you have to kind of knock other people off the sides of the map into the water. And as you can see, what happened right there, like right here, is that sometimes part of the map actually disappears or destructs. But also you as a player can pretty much just destroy anything. Like you can hit these trees, you can hit these buildings, just anything that gets in your way, you can hit it and destroy it. But the special thing about these buildings is that they generate energy, which is kind of these blue battery packs that you see floating around. And then if you pick up these battery packs, your bumper ability, which is this one, like the yeah, kind of like the black bumper moving outward, that becomes stronger as you collect more energy. And then if you hit another player with it, we display that with a particle system. So in the scene here, what I'm working on is we had these particles for displaying how much like what is your charge amount? Like how much energy have you gathered? But we had a meeting about the types of particles that we have and how we want them to look and what kind of flavor we want them to have, and then we decided to kind of move away from this type of very sci-fi and very Unity particle system oriented style, and move towards something more like this kind of like more flat and cartoony and kind of feeling more like animated, hand animated particle systems without actually me having to animate everything by hand. So what we're going to be working on today is taking some of these particle systems that we already have and converting them to particle systems that look more like this cartoony one that I set up this morning. All right. So first thing we do is we grab one of the particle systems, and actually this one, for how minor the effect is, it's actually rather close. It's pretty flat already, but I can use some work. So the problem I have with this one is that it's a particle system that occurs when two cars hit each other without bumping each other, so just kind of like drive into each other, and it's a bit big and it's the wrong color. It used to be white, I think I changed that somewhere. Quickly gonna grab this one. So a bit of a problem here. I usually work on my Cintiq, which is down here, so I can have all the different particle systems next to each other. So for a more complex one like this bump hit here, there might be like 5 or 6 particle systems because I use sub-emitters a lot, which is it's really hard to have it like display the particle and then have your particle system kind of like over here. It's quite annoying because now it blocks the inspector too, so I constantly have to move this around. So I usually have it down here, but I can't do that for the stream, so we'll see how this works out. All right, so this one is simple enough. It only has one particle system in there, just some sparks flying off, and they have some fairly shitty color going on. So I think that's going to be the main thing of what I'm going to be working on right now. I'm just going to reset most of this, like it just doesn't really work out at all. I'm just going to set that back to white. And then, I mean, some of them don't fly quite far enough. So some of the others fly a bit too far, so that has to do with like the start speed. And there's a thing that I want to investigate wherein like some of them fly further than the others, regardless of the fact that they all have the same start speed. So there's something fairly odd going on here with how they're being expelled from the sphere. So we kind of have to look at that. Yeah. Let's see if we have anyone. Oh, we have a viewer, which is me. Great. Quickly. That. So I kind of wanted to restrict that speed a bit more, so I can either set a lower start speed, or I've got this this drag right here. Now I get why it's giving me a lot of, yeah, there we go. That's weird. There we go. So I found out one thing. So I have a constant start speed, but a random start size, and I had multiply by size set here, which means that if a particle is larger, it gets like it gets more drag, which is why some of them were going really far and some of them were, you know, staying very, very close. I might actually want to keep part of this, but I want to then maybe have this start size here be a bit bigger, to have less variance in there than I have right now, and then set the start speed a bit lower to keep it smaller. And actually I want to have that lifetime lower as well, which is kind of like 0.2, maybe, just might be a bit fast. 0.3. Maybe I'll have a random here, just to get a bit, yeah, kind of go to 5, buddy. A bit more variance in there. Let's see. So one of the problems with or kind of things that you have to keep in mind when doing stuff like this is like the in-game context of it. So this doesn't look wonderful, but it might look nice like viewed like this, and then, you know, if you start the game, something else might happen. Might look a lot different. So same thing as with the particle view. I have the game view set like 2 millisecond screen, but so here we see how that would look like in game, which is okay. Like this one's very distracting. Let me quickly switch that off. So that's the bump hit. And now we see how we run into trouble here. Switch that off. So I mean, it's small, but you have to keep in mind that it's going to be spawned like that. So what we see right here, that one, that's like a placeholder particle system, for when 2 cars hit each other, just to check if it works. But I think the small subtle one, that works pretty well, so we might keep that one. We actually set that. We'll set that in the player settings later on. All right. Next one we want to be working on. So this one is done. Is the bump charge amount. So this one actually takes a bit more work, and it takes a lot of work in the like in Photoshop as well. So the look that we have right now is kind of like a generated lightning look, and I might actually do a sprite sheet for the lightning, kind of have it just be a sprite sheet animation that we roll, and then not have these connectors in between the things, because you're not going to see them anyway, because this particle system, when it's spawned on top of the car, so it's kind of spawned like this, so you would never see those ones in the middle like really clearly, right? Because they intersect with the car anyway. It doesn't look that great anyway. So, all right, and then we have these little. I like those bars that kind of like they do feel like they indicate a charge. And if we go to this one as well, like with this one, I really like. I'm gonna keep those bars. I'm just gonna get rid of all that lightning noise, and also replace that with a sprite sheet. All right. So we switch over to Photoshop, and I did set the shortcut for this. Just not sure if that's the right one. Oh, this is interesting. So actually another app that I'm using has these these same shortcuts. So I'll have to change that later. All right. So here we are in Photoshop. We're gonna make a new document. It's gonna be 512 by 512. Which is kind of like the resolution at which I make the particle systems, and I might turn down that resolution later. But it's just easier. Like, it's really hard to paint at super low resolution, so I prefer to paint it at a fairly high resolution and then compress them down later. All right. And we're gonna make a video timeline. So there's the workflow for this kind of odd, wherein I make a video in Photoshop, and then I render out all the frames as images, and then I have a separate tool that makes a sprite sheet from all those images, and then often I go back into the sprite sheet and edit things there, like right from the sprite sheet, if I see that anything needs to be changed within Unity. So we'll go ahead and make a new video layer, and get this out of the way a bit. All right, this should give me a bit more room to draw in, actually, without me bumping against the microphone all the time. So lightning. So the first thing I like to do for anything like this is grab a bit of ref, right? So actually have some examples that I'm going to be looking at a lot. So this is a really cool one by Jordan Jaminet, or Jaminet, I don't know, which is like really powerful, impactful lightning particle. I'm just gonna steal some of his stuff, or just some of the core ideas from that. So what he has is one like core lightning shooting straight down, and then so if we just do a very slow one, you see that there's a core that shoots down. Go on. And then the yellow ones kind of go around it and do a follow-up. And then there's little sparks everywhere. And that's basically what I'm going to do here, but on two separate layers, so that I can do I can export them separately and then kind of tweak them in Unity if I really want to. So first we'll need some like lightning-like shapes, and I usually just do that with the polygon tool. Just make some nice sharp shapes. Please turn on the music. All right. Well, I'm not feeling it. Let's try different. Hmm. Too much detail, maybe. So it's actually like a single line that has a decay. Yeah. Alright. So there's actually too much detail in here already. Like I can just have the one line, or maybe like two, and then just have that decay. As long as my Photoshop doesn't crash. Come on. Yeah. Alright, doesn't onion skin with color. Or with my current settings it doesn't. I'll just draw in black. And actually, for Unity it's better to draw in white, because it multiplies better. So we will get a nice white. That's weird. Is that the onion skin? Yeah. Alright. This is weird though. Shouldn't. Like it shouldn't make the layer I'm on more transparent, just the layer before and after it, so that's kind of weird. Didn't have this trouble this morning. Oh, it's so weird. Hmm. kind of hard to do this without the onion skinning working correctly. I have no idea why it's not working correctly either, because I literally used the same technique right this morning. Like, yeah, so this one is onion skinning properly. Like, you can see the transparent other frames before and after the current frame. And then this one just doesn't. I'll do a new. To next frame. Enable onion skinning. Nothing. That's so weird. But it shouldn't mess with the layer I'm on when I enable the onion skins. Just the layers before and after it. Right. It is doing the opposite of what it should be doing, and I have no idea why. There we go. It was still set to multiply. So it sets it by default to multiply instead of screen, which is the opposite of what I want for working in white on top of black. So, all right. You guys might have noticed I don't do this, or I haven't been doing this a lot yet. So we have a, just want something a bit jagged going down. Just something with a bit, like with sharp edges. So I'll just kind of take some of the roundness off. And we have ourselves a very shitty lightning beam. All right, so and we're just gonna make this decay over time. So I'm just gonna paste in place and just kind of start erasing bits off. We'll start in the middle and leave the corners for last. The corners and the ends. Do the same thing, paste in place. Actually, start erasing out. Oop, it's a bit much. I want to keep that. Keep some of it there. Take some of that out. There we go. Last one. Just keep it very small and subtle. Now the mistake I made here is now we have kind of like a lightning beam thing just going down. We could do kind of have it come down in maybe like one frame. We'll have it come down to about halfway. Problem is now we have a lightning bolt and we kind of want like random clusters of lightning flashes kind of move around a an object, right? So, but I mean, this is a fair exercise to kind of get me started in the right direction, I hope. And then we'll see about getting the actual thing a bit later. Yeah. And then with the glow and stuff on there, I mean, I can put some just to see what it looks like. This one has to be a bit darker. I got something like that, right? And then in engine, there's going to be some post-processing over that makes it look a bit better. That microphone is still really quiet. All right, that might help. Yeah, it's a bit better. Yep. Okay, so now we have a lightning flash. Now we just want to make it kind of curve around a thing. So there's two ways to go about this. I can make a curved lightning flash in Photoshop and then convert it, excuse me, and then just plop it into Unity, or I could try and use a straight lightning flash like this one, and then curve it in Unity. But I think I'm gonna go for the first method there. Yeah. Okay. Let's do a. So we'll just save that one for later and make it a new. Blank video layer. There we go. All right. I'm gonna do just a quick, so it's gonna kind of like curve around a thing. So I might just throw like a curve in here, have it rotate around this one. Yeah, that should work. And then we'll have it kind of like how I did the last one. So I just need a jagged line. Not that jagged, maybe. So what I'm thinking about is like, how is this going to look when it's in a particle system? So if I make a perfect circle like this, it's going to clip through the bumper in engine. So it should, I can make a circle like this, and then, you know, the bumper is going to obscure maybe like this much of the particle, and then you see like the lightning coming out of it, which is exactly what I want. So I need to, and then, you know, if it spawns on the other side of the bumper, it's going to obscure the other half. So that should work pretty well. Question remaining is if it's gonna look like a good piece of lightning, but you know, we can kind of we can try this out. Like we'll just make a really simple one first, toss it in the engine, and then see if that works. So we'll just get working on that one and just do the exact same thing as last time, where we just start slowly chipping away at all the straight bits. And why the straight bits? Because, I mean, just feels logical. Like in the corners where most of the lightning gathers. So if it's going to degrade, it'll probably degrade in the straight bits the fastest. But then, you know, you don't want to just uniformly apply it the same everywhere, I guess. I mean, you can have some straight bits that we leave alone. And it's all going to be very tiny in engine. So I might be overthinking or over designing this, but we'll see in a bit. We'll just slowly chip away. I might actually be chipping away too much already. Like it might be degrading too fast at this rate, because I don't think I'll have much material left in about 2 or 3 frames. I might want it to last a bit longer than that. Yeah. We'll see. Just slowly keep chipping away. Now, if I was a experienced VFX artist, I would have given direction to this lightning bolt, because now it kind of like degrades all over, so it just appears and then degrades, and would have been better if it appears in the direction and then disappears in the same direction, or maybe a different direction. I don't know, because I'm not an experienced VFX artist. But like I said, I just kind of want to get this one done and out the way, and then like we can just see what it looks like in engine, and then if what I'm afraid of will happen happens, then we can fix that problem once we get to it. That really doesn't matter anymore. Like, just kind of erase most of it. So, all right, let's disable onion skinning, and that's what we have. Thank you, Photoshop, for having a standard length for layers, so that I have to reset my workspace every time. All right, so that's like the first layer there where we having little lines, yeah. Maybe I'll have like a more directional couple of lightning lines come across it. So this one just appears, and degrades, and then as it degrades, other lines move around it. Kind of like in the example that we looked at, how the yellow lines kind of go around in a spiral around the blue one and follow it up with a bit of directional motion. That might be nice. And I'll have this one come in with a bit of motion. Oop, that's not it. It's the wrong layer. Nope. There we go. Start. I guess I'll have it. So it'll come in like one frame because it's lightning, right? Maybe I'll actually add some material. Make it slightly fatter. Just for that pop. All right, that's fine. We'll start a new layer. So these two. No, I'll export them together. So this one is going to also start from, I'm guessing what the origin of the lightning is, which is like over here. I'm gonna put this one to a lower opacity so it doesn't. I need to know where it is, but it shouldn't bother me while I'm drawing, right? So this one will have start from the same origin, which is around here, and then kind of move around it, I guess. Which involves kind of decaying the line where it comes from. I mean, I guess I've can't say that I've done this type of effect before. You can kind of see what it's starting to look like. So it goes. If we put the opacity of this one back to 100. So it's a bit too much. A bit too early, maybe. Or too close to the other one. I mean, we can probably, if we designate different colors for the two. So I believe I had I don't know. Got these effects here, right? And then if I do the same here, but get some different, like the yellow colors. Oh, it's a bit much. Oh yeah. That's starting to look a lot better. I mean, I don't know if it's going to work as a particle, but it looks pretty cool. Yeah, it's not too shitty. I might want a bit more mass in some areas. Nope, that's a shitty shape. All right. I mean, yeah, let's toss this in the engine and see what that looks like. So now comes the tedious process of exporting this as an image sequence and tossing that through the tool that makes it into a sprite sheet. Lightning. I actually saw a guy who was like, if you render video straight from Photoshop, you must be insane, because it's a pretty shitty process. But you know, just for an image sequence like that, it's pretty fine, I guess. So now we have, just grab the main screen. So I set up like a really nice VFX shortcuts for OBS to switch from scene to scene, and then I have a plugin for painting, this one, which hijacks those shortcuts, because I'm using these. So that's kind of annoying. There we go. All right. We made lightning, and I'm guessing I forgot to put it in the VFX folder. There we go. So we have a nice little image sequence, and then I always get these random frames in there, but that's fine. All we need is these. And I have a little application called Glue It, just this one, and that will grab those frames and glue them together. And then we get a sprite sheet like this. It's really nice. And we can save it. I usually just toss it in the same folder. There you go, part lightning. And it's here. It's pretty fast, so that's nice. So this should be, yeah, we'll toss it in here. Now the cool part is we don't need a like any animators or things like that to animate this. So it's one of the few animations in Unity, and it actually annoys me a lot because I've been doing UI animations, or I made some UI animations, and you need the sprite sheet and then a material to hold the sprite sheet, and you need an animator and an animator controller. So that's 4 assets to get one animated asset like onto your screen, or actually like 5 assets, because you need to make a prefab out of all that stuff too to be able to show it on the screen. So you need 5 assets to just display like one animated thing. And with Shuriken, with the particle system, you actually have a function in there that just plays the sprite sheet straight away, which I think is really nice. So yeah, we have our texture. See, it's pretty messy until we hit this button right here. Dink. Now it sees transparency, and then we go to the sprite editor and we are going to slice. We are not going to slice. Oh, because I forgot to set this one to multiple. Sorry. We are going to slice this one, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 columns. I always get those two confused. There we go. Yeah, 11 columns. So we slice it, we apply, and now we have a particle that we can use. And I guess I'll just make completely new. I'm quickly gonna turn up. A bit of a headache because of my flu, so I can't stand all the light in here. Yeah, we'll make a new one. we'll make a new particle effect. So bring this one over here so you guys can see what I'm doing. And the first thing I always do, set this one to 0, because it's bullshit, don't want stuff to move, and then set this one to a sphere with a radius of almost 0, so that just spawns the particle in one spot and doesn't move it, doesn't do anything weird with it. This is like, yeah, this is my preferred starting point, so to say. Instead of like having a cone that shoots fuzzy globes all over the place. And we'll grab our, oh, I have to make a material for this one. So I'll just give that the same name. Lightning. So we don't get confused. Move this out the way real quick. Toss that one in there. And you are now a sprite, because it renders nicer than most of the, or at least it kind of depends on what you want to do. I keep my particles as sprites until I need them to do something else. Like if I want them to blend nicely or something, I might change it later, but for now this is fine. Grab a particle system, bring this screen back, and we'll toss our material in here. Ooh, doesn't that look nice? Great. So we have a texture sheet animation here, and we say that it has, and so here's where you kind of see Unity not being very consistent, like people working on different. So in the sprite sheet, like in the slicing tool, we had they use the naming rows and columns, and then in this one they talk about tiles having X's and Y's, which always kind of fucks with me. Like it's really hard to those colors. All right, those colors did not look good in this context at all. It's kind of, it's spawning over itself, isn't it? Set that to like 0.2, 0.2. There it is. That's better. Now it's a little flash of lightning. I should have actually thrown the colors out before I exported it. But this, I mean, this is cool. I might do. Now what am I gonna do here? So now we have a little globe in which these little lightning sparks fly around. And I can't do too much to the color now, which is kind of my mistake, because I exported it as a colored image. But fortunately, we can just grab this cinema gun. And this is what I was talking about earlier, where I just grabbed the sprite sheet and edit it in Photoshop. And we'll see if I just desaturate that, if that looks any better. Yeah, it's a bit fast. I mean, charge amount v2. It's a bit fast, but I mean, it's not too bad. So if we set this higher, right, we can make it go a bit faster or a bit slower. Be a bit slow, because you can see the choppiness of the animation when I do it like this. So maybe a bit faster. This is fine for now. And then now that it's just like grayscale, we can color it in Unity, so we can kind of set the color from here. Because I kind of want to do maybe do a color over lifetime and just change it up a bit. Get this one white, multiply it with this one. Maybe I would start white. Go to blue and end up as if it's kind of cooled down or something. This is turning very salmon-y though. Maybe more towards yellow. Maybe we just keep this one blue, or I can do yeah, I can have some of them be blue. So if I launch 2 particles instead of 1, I'll just have this switch to a burst. Oh god. There we go. We'll have one of them do one color and the other one have more warmer color. Right, we'll just have this one go from light blue to darker blue, and then this one a bit more orangey. All right. I want to have them do a random delay, just so they don't start at the exact same time. Sorry. And then we'll do a rotation. So now we have a little thingy just sparking all over the place. I'm not super happy about these colors yet. It's actually a lot better. We'll just have one be blue, one be white. I don't know, I'm not getting the right color for whatever the warm color is going to be, so I might just leave that. This is a nice angry little lightning cloud. Do I actually want to do anything else with this? I'm actually quite happy with. I mean, I'm gonna add the what is it? Those stripes to it, but that's just the one beam man. Add it as a child, and then have that be a sub emitter. Oop. Bonk. Actually, I need the structure of the other particle system, because it did do one bit that I still need. I just realized. So I'm gonna keep this one. I'm just gonna replace this one with the lightning that I just made, instead of trying to turn this into Alright. You are now small lightning ball. It's been a bit bigger, I think, actually. this. Yes. Enable. Play. And now you are going to be that missing one right there. So, and then the count of the amount of these particle systems that's being spawned is going to go up the more energy you collect. I kind of want the lightning bolt to have a higher start size though. Maybe I just want the lightning bolts to be thicker. I have a trick for that, I think. Hopefully that works. Let's see. I wonder if this still. I have to enable it though. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So this is the original sprite sheet that's being used in Unity right now. We put a little layer of black back there. You can see the entire animation here. And then what I'm hoping will work is a layer, or is a filter that just makes things bigger and fatter. But I can really tell because we exported it with the outer glow on there. So that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Yeah. I'll just dupe this a couple of times to make it stand out a bit more. Let's see, part lightning. Let's back to Unity. That makes it a bit more apparent. Let's get rid of this max charge here for a second. Just see what it looks like when it's near the car. That might be a bit big, right? 5. Yeah, no, increasing the outer glow didn't doesn't look too good. Might actually have to undo that. Bing. I mean, that looks pretty nice actually. I mean, you don't want it to be too apparent because there's going to be a lot of them and there's going to be multiple cars riding around. Actually, might turn him down a notch as well, 0.05. That's not too bad. Let's see what the shape is like. I might want to make it a bit smaller. All right, so now I do want to change the material for it. It's not blending the way that I'd like it to. What I don't like about most of these blends that Unity does, so it just makes it really transparent, like right away. Let's quickly have a look at this in Engine, actually. Yep. All right, let's take a look. Oh, there's that hit animation again, being really, really apparent. Right. I mean, it's nice and subtle, actually. I mean, it kind of looks like it's crawling along that that bumper, and with a couple of tweaks, I think that might be fine. Okay. Cool. So that is the bump charge amount. And we are going to replace, actually this is a secondary one, so we just toss that in there. No, I hate that. All right, so now we have version 1 and version 2. Cool. We have the bump hit, and that also be a version 2. And switch that one off, switch that one off, and then this one. So there's parts about this one that I like. I'm just gonna replace the lightning with the hand animated lightning, but I don't think we can kind of like willy-nilly swap out the one that we had for the one that we just made, because it was kind of made for a different scale. I mean, we can try. Anything can happen, but so we have to get rid of the trills anyway, and then get that lightning particle in there. Actually, this will be faster if I just go don't like that. I think I had this lightning set up in a way that this is not it's not supporting. Yeah. Continue. We'll just take this one take the lightning ball, toss it in there, and then toss that in the sub-emitter. Alright, that looks pretty cool actually. Just needs to be bigger. So we'll take the lightning ball and give it size of 2. Oh my god, that might be a bit much. I mean, it does indicate maximum charge, right? I mean, imagine having this driving towards you. I mean, it could be pretty cool, actually. Ask my colleagues. Might be a bit much. I'll just put this at 1.5. Slightly smaller. That car is charged, like, holy hell. Look at this one. I believe these are the... I should give better names to things. I believe the Lucio one is the stripes. Yeah. And then this one is just the soft glow, which I've never named. Yeah, that's the glow. Alright. And then there's some lights in there somewhere. I believe that's in the glow one. This one probably. I mean, it's pretty cool. Might just be a bit intense. I might actually turn the opacity for this one down a bit more, even. Just like that. And then it's intense but cool. We have a color of our lifetime because it's not. Yeah, there we go. And we'll turn this one down a bit, and then that one down a bit as well, and then set the trails. Also, chill out a bit. Oh, I should set that in the other one. Go. Okay. Let's view that one in engine, which I need this controller. And you guys need to be able to see this screen. Drive over there. Now that looks like a charged car. That is pretty sick. I'll quickly make a GIF for the colleagues. Frame rate really suffers when I'm recording. When I'm recording and recording. That's fine. Just kind of get rid of these frames. Yes. I have a really good naming convention for my GIFs as well, where I just bash the keyboard once and then I've been counting upwards from there ever since. Or that's not entirely true. There's a load of gifs with asdiff or sysdiff. Let's see. Ooh. When can I play it on Android? Onisan, have you tried the random component for the sparks? Onegai Sensei, try it. The random component. What is the random component though? 6.8. That is small enough for Discord. Yay. Yeah. Ooh. There we go. Alright, I need to drink some coffee. So I'll be back in a second. just realized my mic was muted. Great. Experienced streamer right here. Okay, let's see. We are working on the VFX, and we have done car hits car. We have not yet done car hits environment. That might just be the same one for now. Foliage idle is something that is gonna come very much later in the super polish phase, where basically you have a tree like this, and then it'll slowly drop these little leaves in an effect that will be very very similar to this one. So, like this, it'll just kind of have these leaves falling down. But we're not doing that right now because it's hardly a priority. Foliage hit by car. Same thing, because it requires us to change a couple of bits about how those props work. So energy picked up. I think I made one for that at some point. Yeah, battery pickup. So we'll see if that has to change to fit the new style at all. Actually isn't too bad. We'll get rid of this lightning, put the other one in, and I'd say that then we have a pretty, actually already fairly cartoony little effect here. Huh. Yeah, that should look fine. All right, we'll grab disable that one. The lightning from the bump charge mount. Toss it in here. Hey, that's the wrong one. Sorry, from the charge around V2. Toss that in there. Get rid of that one. Get this one. Sorry about that. And I'd say might need some timing work. I might also want to offset this one to be a bit higher compared to the other ones. It's going to be on the ground like that. Yeah, and it'll have to be a bit bigger too. So the mistake I made, so this is one of the particle systems that I made earlier, and the mistake I made there is that these are like 3 separate particle systems hooked up to like an empty game object, instead of it being a particle system with 3 subparticle systems. So now I can't really, like, the have to access them all separately. So I think I'll just quickly toss this in. Let's see how the best way to go about it is to just parent these to that one and just unparent this from there. I'll just make this energy pickup. cake. So the mirror is reflect. But I'm in front of the screen. My cake. What? Okay. Yeah. Quickly. Okay. Sound is on now though, right? Yeah. Okay. I was gonna change this particle system to be sub-emitters. Let's toss the rings in there, add the upswirl in there. There we go. So that's a problem. Because they inherit several things from the parent. That seems to have messed with my upswirl quite a bit. Still looks fairly cool, but we'll have to fix that. Because this is not what we want. So it seems to be going down instead of up, but then sometimes up. So that's the noise component on the upswirl, kind of playing mayhem with the y-axis. So I guess if we just turn that to 0, it shouldn't. Yeah, it's still sometimes going down, sometimes going up. What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Velocity over a lifetime. I built this a bit like a while ago, so I'm kind of so it's 3 cycles of 1. Why is that on the z-axis though? I'm just going to switch the noise off because it's distracting from like the core motion. Okay. So it's going that way. Not because of this one. Why is it angled? So weird. I set this up like ages ago, and now I'm so confused about what I did and why it isn't just going straight up. Okay. Space world, please. How is it? I am confused about how I managed to make it fly off to the side. It's a parenting issue. There we go. Okay. So something in here. Right. No, because that would make it. Oh, so it's inherit nothing. I mean, I can offset it, but it'd be cleaner to not have to compensate for the fact that it. Oh, those are just the particles. Ooh, why that much though? Oh boy. I think we might have an honest to God Unity crash here. Nope. Still alive. This one is just broken now. So broken. Not too sure why. Well, that's the effect I want. I would just love for it to work in here as well, but it just won't. I get this more often with Shuriken, where it breaks down for some abstract reason, like a value of 14 on the orbital is not super high. I had it up to like 50 before. There's no real reason for it to be this broken, so I guess I'll just remake that effect. I'm just going to assume that, you know, Unity just has some some problem with something. It just ran into a little issue, and then it can't resolve it for some reason, and just kind of breaks down, just like I'm breaking down right now. But then I have a flu. Let's see, part circle. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Start size. Let's bring that down. And then mission. Want that to be. I think we had a count of 3, or a count of 1, and then cycles 3, right? To just make it go. Yeah, something like that. Just bring the angle down straight up. And you just be there. Oh, that's so nice. Okay. And then we use the force to see how now it also, like, it is parented to the energy pickup again, just like the last one was, but this time it doesn't suddenly go sideways for no reason. Though I haven't set, you know, any weird parameters or anything. It just kind of, I don't know, must have been, I mean, it's obviously probably something that I did last time, but I don't know. Let's get a nice little trail in there. Cool. And we'll bring that way down. Might be that I'm using a trail that doesn't allow for transparency. So we'll try and let's see if we have another with a smoke trail and this trail. I don't really want to change the shader of this one because it'll so this one, yeah, as I said, to multiply, it should work. I know, but just part trail. Transp. And then just set that one to something like that. And then we will replace nope, that's the wrong screen. God damn. I have so many windows open on my second monitor, like it's really hard to. There we go. Replace that one. And now we have the transparency that we want. Obviously it's set super high now. Let's get this one back over here. Interesting. There we go. We can make them a bit more lively. Okay, we don't want them to be alive quite as long. We want them to move a bit faster. So we'll get that speed like up to 3 and then set this one maybe, I know 1 might actually be too high already. Yeah, that's too high. So we'll set it to the duration, we'll leave it 1, but then the lifetime about 3. It's a bit short. 1.6. Yeah. And then want them to fade out nicely and also turn smaller. How did I have the other ones? I think I had them fade out and not become smaller, right? I got the angle in there first, so that's the force over lifetime. Nope, sorry, velocity over lifetime. So that one to world, and then have it do the orbital thing. I'm really scared of breaking my Unity. Yeah. That's the one. Pretty, isn't it? That's not the one. I was confused about how their angles work for this. Like, there we go. Did I have them do a size over lifetime last time? I believe I might have. And also, I kind of want them to go from a wider base like to a smaller point. So we'll get this one to be a bit larger. I wish I could have this have like a negative value, and then, but I guess we'll have to believe it's with this one, right? Where you make them go. Yeah, this is how you make them go towards the center. Pew. And then it had a bit of noise on the last one. Right. Let's forget about the noise for now, and I'm gonna focus on how they exit, because now they just kind of disappear, which is never a nice look. Don't want you to die with the particle. There we go, and then color over lifetime. I'll have you be a gradient. And we'll make, come on. I'll have you fade out. All right, better. And then we'll have the same for the particle, color over lifetime. Maybe a bit later. Keep them alive for a bit longer. And then same for you. And then we'll do this one as well. We go down. Yep. Linear, please. So I can tell that I'm still sick purely by the effect that coffee is having on my head. Like, I am dizzy as hell. And then we will, so this is always a bit iffy if you inherit the yeah, that's always completely broken. Maybe we'll die with the particle, actually. Nah. I would stay a bit longer. Okay. Let's talk colors for this particle system here, because it's kind of like gray and white and so we'll want to bring back our blues in there a bit. Just quickly drop that one over there. Yeah, we'll want to bring the blues back in that we are using for our other particle systems. So we'll start with the, I'm going to keep the rings in white because I like how they kind of, they feel like an indicator and not really a world effect. We'll do the sparks in blue. We might have them start a bit larger, 1.5 or so. Yeah, that's cool. And then we'll maybe reduce their lifetime. So that's just like that, right? It's just, oh, it's a spark. Problem is, if I reduce this one, that's kind of the, yeah. It's reducing the others as well. See how the others are changing with it if I change this value here. because they're dying with, because they're parented. But I mean, I guess 0.4 is okay as well. Let's get this one going here. Give it the same kind of blue treatment. It's turning out nice and gray. Whoop. There we go. A bit brighter. I actually want to have more, to be a bit more opaque. The same for the particle. Opinions? 8 viewers of mine. So, oh yeah, just for clarity's sake, this particle system is for when the player picks up one of the energy batteries. So, for instance, you switching back on the controllers. I'll just grab the game view, which is over here. Say you break down a building, you see that bunch of batteries in there. So you pick one up, and then at the spot where you pick up a battery, bling, that's the effect. So just like one quick bling. So looking at it in game view, I can already tell I like the white circle still. I might turn down the opacity for that a little bit, but the blue swirl is very, very, very present. So we might have to tone that back down a little bit. Maybe make it bigger but more transparent. That might fix that problem. Oh, I can just tell my computer is suffering with broadcasting and displaying the game at the same time. Time for that GTX 2080, am I right? Okay. Yeah. We'll need a shadow cookie too, by the way, for those gems, just to draw away from the ground. All right. Gotta stop playing this game. So addictive. Huh? Okay. So what did we say? We said bigger but more transparent for the upswirl, and the rest was kind of fine. I want to make actually an animated sprite sheet for rings that kind of have their, so now the ring, as it grows bigger, it stays really thick, and I don't like that. So I need to make a particle sheet that, or a sprite sheet that animates just as it grows, that the lines become thinner, and that would make a much better looking effect, actually. But it's such a tedious job that I'm not gonna bore you guys with me doing that. So I'll do that somewhere tomorrow, and then next week all the particle systems will be more beautiful. So the upswirl, we wanted to have them bigger but more transparent. So we'll just play the effect, take a little look, and we'll start changing the, let's make it bigger first, and I think I can, I'll actually just put the just a bit more radius and a bit more lifetime, and that should fix it. Hello. right? There we go. What is that lifetime? 0.6. That's actually quite high though, compared to. I don't think it's actually getting its full lifetime, because it's parented to the other one, right? Oh no, it is. Yeah. Maybe fewer of them too. 2 cycles. Bit higher interval maybe. Yeah, sorry. And then the transparency, bringing it back a bit. Just way back. Yeah, then we need the particles to have that same, like ballpark, the same amount of transparency. All right, see what that looks like in game. Yep. There's a bit much going on, I think. I mean, it is looping. It would. I mean, it would normally only play it once. So switch the loop off. It would just be like that. So the rings. Yep. It's only throwing out one, and I'm wondering if that's because the entire effect let's set that to 0.5, half a second. It's throwing it out much much faster than it should. Well, I can actually change, because I can put that on the depth of the other one, because I kind of want it to remain on the ground. Yeah, that's better. But it's still not doing it. Like, it should be 3 circles. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, not too sure why it doesn't. I mean, it kind of looks like it's. See, that's what it's supposed to do. Bloop, bloop, bloop. But, bloop, bloop, bloop here. It's not doing it. And I'm wondering why. So it has to be one of those parenting things again. Obviously, because it works when I unparent it, and then it doesn't when I reparent it. I'm just not entirely sure which. So that always like throws me off with Shuriken, where I have it set to inherit just like nothing from the parent, but there's obviously still stuff going on there. that's fucking with everything. And yeah, it's not too clear where it is. It might be like the particle's orientation or something, but I don't know. Let's see. Because there's a weird offset with that particle system now, with the rings. Or the, sorry, the upswirl. That shouldn't be in there. It's way down now for no discernible reason. Let's see. Yeah, it's so whenever I make it a sub-emitter, it'll just completely ruin. I'm a bad parenter. Yeah. I just, because it was parented already and that didn't fuck with it, but making it a sub-emitter that doesn't inherit or shouldn't inherit anything from its parent emitter, that does fuck with it, and I'm not entirely sure why. Yeah, because if I just remove this one and just have it be a child, it's fine. I could probably get rid of this one too. Just have it be a child, and then it does what you want it to do. Making it a sub-emitter just ruins everything. All right, I'll do start delay of how long does that one last for? That's a lifetime there, 0.4. So as soon as the other one dies, the circles get in there. Yeah, that'll work. Maybe have the emitter be a bit bigger. Oh, that's not going to do anything for the, yeah, they're just going to spawn. Sorry, not the emitter. I want the size over lifetime to go a bit higher. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. That looks really good. Cool. Okay. Let's get the next one. Just quickly toss this in the appropriate folder. Call this battery pickup 2. Okay. And then we go back to our issue board. Oh. Ignore. Okay. Set that. Okay. Disable that one. Next, where's our issue board? It's over here. Cars energy, cars max energy, bump releases energy, bump releases max energy. Okay, yeah, so we do have an effect for just bumping, though. So it's this one. It's a pretty old one. One of the first ones I made. Just kind of throws a circle out there. And that decays. I might want to add. Let's go into Photoshop and do some sketches for that. For what that could look like. So I'm thinking, so that circle definitely has to stay in there, right? But maybe we can have something like just the outward force also represented in there. And then maybe something that goes up. Not the best looking sketches, I'm well aware. I'm just kind of like thinking on paper here. It's like a top view, and then from the side it'd be something that goes. And then you have the little car in the middle here. Right, that's like a back view, and then we have the actual bumper. And maybe we'll have some little force thingies coming off from the bumper shape. That might be nice. And then like kind of like the motion I want is like the movement of air, because our bumper doesn't quite, or not at all actually, animate as far as the hitbox comes. So what I might do with the particle system is have it communicate how far that force is going by having like it kick up wind and throw out these little things, and then you have kind of like a AoE circle that communicates the range of that. I have something like an example in here somewhere. I have a lot of tabs open. All of them are about VFX. I've been learning how to do this since like the day before yesterday. Wait, let me get. I was watching a video by this guy who does the VFX for Riot, or for Riot, for League of Legends, basically, I believe. And he had a really nice example actually of how to communicate gameplay. And this style guide is actually available somewhere. Oh, here. So that's pretty cool, and I'm definitely gonna read through that at some point. Though for the game that we're making right now, a lot of the points that they make here are not very valid. But after this game, we're gonna do a game that actually does have a lot of combat and a lot of magic in there. So I'm definitely gonna give this a little read. But for now, basically, I want to do something like what he's describing here, where you have a nice ring that delineates the AoE very clearly, and then within that space you can still really play with kind of the visual flair, but make sure that it still communicates very clearly. As in this example here, this one doesn't communicate the hitbox of the effect very clearly, and this one does. So they used to have this one in League of Legends, and they changed it to this one just to communicate, excuse me, that hitbox more clearly. So that's something that I'm definitely taking into account when doing these effects. Like for the other effects, it doesn't really matter that much. Like for the indicators, they kind of have to indicate roughly how much energy you have. It doesn't really have that much of a gameplay impact that you have to know exactly how many energy you have. You just kind of have to know, oh, I've got a lot or I've got very little, right? As long as it communicates that, then we're absolutely golden. But for a main mechanic like this one, where hitting other people with your bump is the main thing that you do, it's very important to clearly communicate how far that bump extends, right? So that's why I just want to have like a hard circle in there that just shows you, hey, this is the range of your bump ability. And then all the other effects are just going to they're not only going to be flare, they will communicate to the player like the amount of power that's behind it, or you know, kind of the what do you call it, ludonarrative layer, I guess. Like, why am I being hit by something that's not the bump? Well, maybe it's just a force coming out of it or something. So I might do something with wind and clouds and just have that circle be there, and then have stuff kind of, you know, turn back on itself like that. Maybe have some clouds in there that actually, you know, one of those types of anime clouds that might actually be fun to do. Not too sure how well that's going to work in the perspective that we have. I do like what that looks like, though. Let's have some power lines in there. Just radiate out from the center, and then maybe. Sorry about me breathing into the microphone, by the way. I'm running out of breath quicker than usual because I can't breathe through my nose too much. Let's see. Yeah, doing some of those clouds might be nice. I might actually have some clouds that look like that, and then just billboard towards the camera. Or I might do clouds that look like these, and then they don't billboard, so they kind of actually go off into the distance. Not too sure. All right, let's make at least a sprite for. So I'm gonna make a cloud sprite that starts out like something like this, and then deteriorates. Guess that would look something like this. I'd have to look at some anime reference to see how you'd go about getting rid of clouds like these, how the deterioration would go. Yeah, maybe I'll just get started on it and we'll see where it goes. So same process as before. We make a nice 512 by 512. Make a video timeline, and we make a blank video layer. There we go. Then we change that one to be dark, because we're going to be making it in white, because Unity blends better, or doesn't blend at all in other colors. So it blends anything with white, which is kind of dumb, in my opinion, you'd expect it to kind of blend with 50% gray, but it always blends stuff with white, which really limits a lot of the colored stuff I'd like to do anyway. Yeah, let's just get started on that main cloud, set up our onion skinning. Okay. How do I want to make this cloud? I want to make like a really clean cloud, or maybe wonk. I don't know. It would have to come out, billow up, and then destruct itself in a circular manner. Maybe I should make a sketch version first before I make like a cleaner version, I guess. So we have just a line at first, and it billows up here, right? So there's force coming this way, and it kind of billows up and up, and I'm thinking we should make that go fairly quick at first, because it kind of like, it's like the dust particles that form the cloud are no longer overcoming the air resistance. So they first they go really fast, like, and then they hit a certain point at which the air resistance becomes too big, and then that's when the cloud billows up, right? So it's like, and then for this first line, we'll kind of have it head towards there. It'll become a little cloud, bigger cloud, and then we have the cloud as big as it's going to ever be. That, and then it has to start decaying. So the air movement is still that way, and it's still pushing it from the it's still pushing it that way, right? So it's coming in here, pushing the dust up and out, and then while it's pushing it in that direction, following that flow, the dust particles will start to dissolve. So I'm guessing that would look something like it would go into itself, right? Maybe leave parts here. But maybe we'll leave this that one behind as we move that way. It folds back on itself and breaks at some point. I don't know. I'm totally guessing here. I have no idea what this is going to look like. Once we play it back. But this is kind of Ooh, that's fast. So we're gonna need at least twice the amount of frames for this. Maybe even more than that. So here's the joys of animating in Photoshop. You can't actually dupe frames. So I do believe I can sort of insert a blank frame. I can dupe a frame. There's no shortcut for it. Was that it? Oh, we can dupe. I mean, probably set a shortcut for it. That's weird. Fairly certain. Didn't see it in the shortcuts menu, so I kind of assumed that I couldn't. Next frame preview. See how there's no shortcut for just duping a frame. It's kind of stupid, but no. All right, at least we can do it. I just have to go to a menu every time, which is kind of annoying. Get rid of the onion skins here. So we'll dupe every frame. Oh, that's getting annoying already, because I have to go all the way over here. Like I'm still working. Hold on. Okay. That's better. And now we can kind of smooth out those in-betweens. So turn onion skinning back on. We can kind of come in and say this one is in between the other two. This one also in between the other two. And this one too. So this is where it gets. Now this is bot raising. Kind of complicated. Hold on. Losing myself in onion skin. So we have that. And then that's a bit of a leap, right? So I'm just gonna show no frames before, just frames after. So we can show actually how that guy got separated. Just a frame before it isn't separated yet, right? Yeah. So that might be a bit of a leap. Same goes for this one. All right, let's see. Oh, that's not what I want at all. I'm not getting that motion in there. I mean, kind of. But not really. So maybe we just have to make some arrows first, just to convey the motion, and then I can put the actual clouds over that in a different layer, because it's a lot to process at the same time. This is just an ugly frame too. These are just ugly shapes that we do not want. Sorry, shapes. Yeah. All right. Cool. Starting over. So just arrows this time, just to indicate, you know, where are we going with this. So we are creating some force going that way. And then we're going. Maybe that's a bit of the mistake I made last time, where I just kind of, it plumed out, but it didn't move that way, right? It didn't circle back on itself at all. So already this is kind of giving me so, and then when it hits itself here, right, that's where that little globule that, so you have a cloud, and they're usually kind of like this, and this is the result of it hitting itself back here, and then there's an excess of material here. I guess that kind of causes that globule. And then, so it runs out of material under here actually, and this loses momentum. That is hard though. Let's look at some examples as well. Cloud animation, anime. That's what I'm kind of going for. No. This is obviously it. Kind of need that Japanese or they have this really clean, not at all this style. That's not it either. I know exactly what I'm looking for. I just don't know how to like word it in a way that Google will understand. Okay. Hashtag Yellowcake games. No. Nope, not at all. Nope. It's alright. I know I've seen a ton of these, like maybe it's more like it's more like this. This is actually much closer. Okay. Well, can't find any ref for it. So we'll have to do it live. Yeah, no, that layer's moving way too fast. I need more. It's playing back so fast. I need more frames, right? That's the wrong layer. That is starting to look like, even though it's like the sloppiest attempt I've done so far, but it's actually kind of doing what I want. So let's see where that leads us. All right. It's sloppy, but what we're missing now is kind of the movement that way. So, because it's just kind of there. So we'll just add a couple of empty frames. I'm gonna try, like, I'll end the stream in a couple of minutes, and tomorrow I'll try and set up my shortcuts. I'll take a longer look at the shortcuts, because there has to be a faster way of adding frames than, you know, going through that menu all the time. I just haven't found it yet. Just quickly look at what this looks like. And then I'll make a clean animation out of this either later today or tomorrow. You guys can see what that turns out as next week. So I'll be streaming at the same time, so from 1 to 4 GMT +2. And hopefully I'll be able to show you guys some cool new stuff. Also, audio design or audio work coming up hopefully soon. And I'll be able to show you guys, I think either next week or the week after that, we'll probably have some new UI stuff to show as well. So that's going to be cool. Because we actually have a system, or we've designed a system, and it's being built as I speak by our developer, who's Lancelot live in the chat. So yeah, that should be here in a couple of weeks, and then we can customize the cars with which you drive. And I haven't shown any character work this week because that's what I was doing in last stream. But those characters are going to be like tied to the car that you pick. So you pick a car, and then by picking a car, you actually also automatically pick a character. And then you can customize the car. Like you can put different fronts and backs on it and pick the color and the texture and stuff. But that's all coming up in the coming couple of weeks, because the interface work for that is being done, and then once that kind of starts working out, we can kind of show that off on stream as well. All right. Yeah, I'm just quickly filling these in, and then just gonna look at how that runs as an animation. And I think I'll close the stream after that. So I'm obviously fairly new at this streaming game dev thing. So if you have any tips or remarks, or hey, the sound was very quiet, or it's too loud, or you keep breathing into the mic, why do you have a cold, how dare you, any type of that stuff, just tweet it at me or send me a DM on tweet. My Twitter is right at the bottom of your screen. Also be sure to follow our company's Twitter, which is at Yellowcake Game. To check out our website, which is www.yellowcakegames.com. All right, let's see on that. Yeah, no, I'm not happy with this motion at all. So I'll take a look at this later. This is not what I want. All right, cool. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next week, and stay safe. Something like that. See ya.